bunch of metals here. Mason boy's out back. You can hear him squeaking his ball right now. He's being a good boy, keeping squirrels out of the backyard. I started looking into these and researching these a little bit. We're going to go through them right now, but just let me say is the bit of information that I do know about them is that they come from a robotics company based in Mexico, and these are basically described as, I kind of read the box a little bit too, but they're described as a style of bus bar for robotics type deal. I mean, maybe these are what they have in their running specific machines for factory work. I don't know specifically what they go through, but I do know where they come from and what exactly that they are. But I'm going to go just by calling them copper contacts. Nice ones, because they are quite heavy per piece. I'm going to do an example piece. I brought my scale with me right now. What we're going to do is we're going to take this apart right here, and we're going to see how much copper is actually on a single piece. And that'll give me a general idea of how good of a dive it was that night. It looks like it's going to be pretty good, but in advance I was playing with these just a little bit ago, like last night or the night before. But I started a little pile of these, and I was going back and forth about how I'm going to go about these as quickly as possible to get these little plastic rivets. There's 4 rivets holding each piece of copper in, if you can see that. So basically you have your copper, your plastic, and then I'm just gonna go right ahead and call these like gold ribbon, I guess. I'm just thinking there's probably no gold in it, but it's just like really super thin ribbon tape, and some people say that they have gold in them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick them aside in a pile right there, and then throw the copper in the other side there. But we're gonna find out right now how much one of these is in value in copper. Okay, I tried a couple of different tools. I tried this air hammer, and it's just a little too violent for the job, and it pulsates and shakes the crap out of my hand too much, and it makes it, I don't know, it makes my hand go numb running this. And I was looking around in my junk pile, and I found this Chicago Electric Oscillating Multifunction Power Tool. Basically what it is, it's like almost like a Sawzall, but it goes the other direction like that instead of that. And it's just about wide enough to where I can get in here and take out 2 plastic rivets at a time. And I gotta say, I think that this is definitely the right tool for the job. It's just a little loud. That's kind of why I'm explaining this stuff right now in advance, because when this turns on, you won't hear me. You know, and what I tried to do here on this aluminum workbench is that I have a rubber mat right underneath of the pieces I'll be throwing on the table right here. And this rubber, I'm hoping, will absorb most of the shock and the sound, because if you're running like a vibrating oscillating tool right on the aluminum here, it's louder. So my idea was to put that strip of rubber down right there to absorb the shock. Still probably going to be loud, but we're going to open this one up and we're going to weigh it and see how much per piece in value it is in copper. I don't know if you guys can see over here, I got that wheelbarrow or power buggy full of electric motors. I'm considering pulling the copper out of those big stators that I found, and I'll be able to show you guys that tool that I made there. Those big stators, they're just a little bit too big for my motor copper pulling machine right there, but I think I found a way around it and we'll be just fine. We're gonna still use it, see if it works like that. But those stators they're pretty sizable stators, so it's like really, I didn't really design my copper pulling system to pull, you know, 100+ pound motors. Usually the ones that I'd be messing with are smaller motors. So it's going to be interesting to see if it can do it, or if it's worth doing it. We'll weigh, once we get the copper out of one of those motors, we're going to weigh it and see if it's worth it. And if it's not worth it, I don't have a problem turning those in as electric motors, honestly. You know, but like half of the steps are already done. There's no casings on there. There's no center steel core piece. It's just literally, you know, the pressed steel plates and copper. I could almost just set it right up in my machine and start pulling the crap out, but we'll see how that goes. Back to this, I'm trying to show you guys how much copper is coming out of one piece here. So I'll show you how efficient this little tool is. Mason, use your ball. Hey, use your squeak ball, Mason boy. Quit barking. I don't want to disturb the neighbors back there or whatever, but usually don't bother them. They got a bunch of barking basset hounds back there, so yeah. All right, and all those copper pieces are basically free. This is a really good tool for this scenario here. Although I did miss one plastic rivet right there. There. So what I've been doing is I just kind of, at this point, I just do this and it comes right off, kind of like a whole string of copper. It sounds like a copper wind chime. Hear that? Actually quite soothing. I might keep one of these as a wind chime. But we're gonna weigh it. It's right there. Plastic. There. It's gonna be interesting to see the value of what one of those are. Okay. 0, 0, throw it on. There's a pound a piece on these. Look. There's a pound a piece. So that puts like the value of one of these at like probably over $3 a pound. Whatever number 2 copper's going for nowadays. Pretty sure it's over $3. So these are $3 a piece. If I can go through them fast, I'll make good money on them. And I'm really curious to see how much, since it's such an even number of 1 pound a piece. There's a lot of these here. There's 3 more boxes at the end down there too. See? Right there. So we're gonna kind of jam right into them, since that is freaking awesome, and they come apart easy too. Look at that. Pick them right off the grapevine. See that? Yeah, beautiful. And there's your stem, which apparently has value too, so we'll set them right there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but you know, I'm sure there's micro scrappers and stuff out there that are much more knowledgeable in that than me. But as you guys can see, I got my work cut out for me, okay? And I'm gonna make it as efficient as possible. I think I got a good method here, you know. Work spot, pile product, separate, plastic, boom. Yeah. Yep. And that wasn't as loud as I expected. Doing it on this aluminum bench right here can get way louder. So, okay. Time lapse. Time lapse. Time lapse. Merchant metals. Mason's hunting squirrels. Yeah. I'm gonna be loud over here so that the squirrels won't even hear him coming, you know. And the next thing you know, squeak a squeak with the ball. Right, Mason boy? Squeak a squeak. Okay. So, let's get started. Time lapse. Yeah, it started raining. But I just wanted to pop this on and say that this tool is working really well for these, getting the plastic off of the bus bar. I did this whole pile right here probably within 15 minutes. Rain sucks. Hopefully it'll just blow over, but or not. Mason, come on. Get inside, let's go. Come on. Hey, get inside. Wet. Get down. Now up. Thank you. Ah, you stay here. I gotta keep working on these contacts. I mean, I'm under that tent, so I'm not too bad as long as I'm there. Just stay inside, okay? Love you, buddy. Hopefully it'll just blow over. That'd be nice. Hopefully that's not waterlogging my camera. I don't know if it is or not, but there we go. Is that better? Yeah, I guess. Alright, so we're just going to start popping these all off. I mean, most of the time they just do that and it's like empty. So there's no struggle in pulling off one piece at a time. It just comes off like a grapevine, really. Now I got a bunch of water inside this Chicago Electric. Not so great of an idea there. We're still going to use it. Look at that. These are some easy picking scraps right here, man. Get a whole pile of them, all zipped, get all the plastic buttons zipped off of all of them. What I mean is that they're plastic rivets that hold them on there. Sometimes these little ribbon wires are not coming off so nicely, but I'll get what I can there. But yeah, this is going to add up to a pretty good pile of copper here, and it's going to be pretty heavy. Look at that. Beautiful. I like that. Might be able to just smack them. Yeah, that works too. I guess the toughest part is just run. I run this for about 15 or 20 minutes and my hand goes numb and I have to stop, take a break. So I imagine I'll do about 10 to 15 minutes worth and then break the, pop them out of the little plastic trays. These aren't even quite like, these aren't even considered boards. They're not boards. They're bus bar. That's what they describe them as. Which is pretty cool because, you know, one of these contains a pound of copper each. I am so happy for that. So even to make this a bit more efficient, maybe I can take my knife, right here, and maybe I could run a line down one of these, like the ribbon tape where they connect, and maybe that would help. Kind of seems to be, it's going to be like a weird angle, but if I do that, I won't have to pick and pull them off. They should just fall right out because it's the last thing that's literally holding them. Will that work? For the most part, yes. And the ribbon tape comes out a lot cleaner, see? So I think we might involve that step just so we're not picking each individual piece off. I want the whole tray of these to fall out at the same time, is my guess. So I'm just kind of cutting where the ribbon tape connects to the piece of bus bar, and that seems to be really doing the trick. So I can pick and pull them off just like this, but pieces of little tape are sticking on and all that. These pieces, they'll just kind of fall right out almost. And then there's the tape, and there's the bus bars. These are some thin little bus bar, but these chunks that are on the end, those are kind of thick. See that? That's good weight. And it is kind of unfortunate that some of them don't have those. See, this one doesn't have those big chunks on the end, which makes me think they're all kind of unfinished, or they maybe built them wrong, or maybe it's something to do with, maybe it's a political reason. I don't know. But this is scrap metal now, and I think that's how I'm going to do them. Quick slice like that, backwards. Yeah, definitely. That's nice. Yeah, some of the tape does not come off. Yeah, pain in the butt. Yep. Or I could just pop them all out with the tape and then have just a plain pair of scissors to cut them. That could work too. I'm just trying to consider which is going to be fastest, because we got a lot of them to go through. I'm almost thinking maybe just pulling them off might be faster. Like that. Make a pile of them and then go through them. So it's like a single process on all of them. I think that might work. This one's still got rivets on one side. That's why they're not popping out. Nice. See, and that one came out whole. That one did too. Yeah, I like doing it this way more. Definitely. Can anybody guess how much weight's gonna be here? It's starting to look pretty good. I'm gonna keep working along on this, and about midway, 3/4 through, we'll I'll bring you right back. Yeah. All right. Oops. I found the rhythm. All right, another huge massive pile of copper. That's freaking awesome. We got to pull all the tapes off of these now. I found that if you just ring them like this, the tape tries to stay intact. So I just do that and I kind of pull them straight through like it is. See that? Yeah. So anytime I get these like that, I just ring them out like that now, and that'll work. We got 3 more boxes to go through. I hope I make it to the scrapyard in time. I would probably need 0 distractions if I'm going to make it today. And it'll be a late upload, but there'll be one. I hope. Today is Monday today. And these take a little bit longer than I expected, but yet not that bad. These are like generally easy scraps right here. I'm still generally stunned that I found these. But I guess I'll let you know my guess. I'm guessing there's probably over 100 pounds coming from these, which in my world is not that bad. Oops. I would grab these again if I had the chance. That's for sure. But I gotta split the episodes up like this because these are very time consuming. I mean, there's just a lot of it, you know what I mean? I couldn't probably do these and then a whole bunch of other scrap at the same time. That's a lot of scrap. Like, there's so much of it right here that I made the choice to load this on the bench first so I can get it out of the way. Who knows, I might show up there and there might be a whole nother freaking like 20 cases of this stuff again. You never know. If that's the case, that's cool. But we'll see. That might be all they had to throw out. Them and those motors, that's it. Wow. Yeah, we still got a big pile of you. That's crazy. Keep going. I'm worried I might not make it to the scrapyard today. That means time lapse. We gotta move. was sort of a long day, but we got it finished. This is everything right here. Wow, that's a lot of copper. I hope it weighs up to be over 100 pounds at least. And then behind it's all that gold bonded ribbon, wire, tape, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't have anybody to sell that stuff to. But basically the whole bench got a whole row of copper right there. That's a lot of bus bar. A lot of bus bar. Very happy with it too. Alright. I got my scale over there and I got a few buckets. We're going to start weighing this stuff out. We're going to weigh it up. See what we got. Okay. And then that's it for the day. Too bad we couldn't make it to the scrapyard. That stuff happens. Hey, there's a lot of work involved in scrap metal. I know that. I knew that right from the beginning. Basically. But what we got here is a bucket and a scale. You know what we're about to do. Alright. Those are 2 pounds. I'm going to tear that. And we're going to start weighing it up. Yeah. I'm done with these for a while, man. They're good scraps. It's just very repetitive stuff. That was 8.5 pounds right there, that little scoop. £17 pounds. £24 pounds. £32 pounds. Yeah, this is gonna be good. That was 32 pounds right there. See it? All right. That is 40 pounds right there. 40 pounds. £49 pounds. Oh yeah, that is 57.5 pounds. We're gonna get 60 in there. 60 pounds right there. That's a 60-pound bucket of bus. Perfect. 60 pounds. This should zero right back out. These are 2 pounds apiece. That is correct. All right. I think we're getting more than 100 pounds. It's still zeroed out. See it? All right. All right then. That was 7.5 pounds. $15.5 pounds. $23.5 pounds. $31 pounds. You know it's a good day when you need a shovel for the copper. 31 pounds and 37.5 pounds. $47 pounds. $55.5 pounds. $58.5. Oop, a little over 60. Take a pound out. 60 pounds flat right there. So we got 2 good buckets. Ooh, one more bucket. One more. Oh, yeah. Oi! All right, she zeroed back out. Let's get the rest on there. £3.5. 6 pounds. 8.5 pounds. 11 and a half. This is the last bit. 12 pounds. So we had gotten 132 pounds of copper from that. Boy, oh boy, that's not bad. Considering we got a few bucks a pound there, it looks like a pretty good payday. That was for only one stop of one of the times I went out last. 132 pounds. 132 pounds. Holy crap. Just on that alone. With all the other scraps that I came across that night, this could be very honestly, it could be $8 to $1,000 that one night, easily. We still have all the scraps separated. It's this. I think it's this pile right here. These 3 boxes of non-ferrous, and the bags that are on top of it. Definitely. Yep. And then all the motors, and then these 2 bags, I'm sorry, these 3 bags right here were from the last dive. So we're gonna basically add $500 onto the tab for that one time that we went out that one night, because we have that prepped and ready for sure. Now we got to process all of this stuff right here and over, and that wheelbarrow back there full of stuff too. And then we'll have the final tally of not the last time we went out, but the time before. Yeah. So that would have been last Wednesday. So we got $500 from last Wednesday so far. Tomorrow, what I think we'll do is, instead of doing the motors right away, we're gonna finish up the scrap metal from last Wednesday right here. Okay, that shouldn't take as long as this right here, because that was a lot of work to get these. But for 132 pounds of copper for one stop on Wednesday, that's a good deal, if you ask me. Boom, all that copper ready to go. I'll do some quick math and find out what the copper prices are right now, but I'm pretty sure number 2 copper is over $3. So, and here's all our rivets. I tell you what, man, this thing was a lifesaver. Yep, I'll keep this in the arsenal now. Mason's been such a good patient boy today. I gotta take him for a ride outside on a golf cart or figure something out, but I have to get inside and finish editing this video if I have any chance of it going public tonight. So gotta go. Merchant Metals and Mason boy, wherever he is, he's over there somewhere. All right. Up this spray foam spruce all over that door and down there and there.
I worked so long in construction that I forgot I had a dream. Didn't know where I was going, didn't like where I had been. So one day I gave it all up. When my eyes were open wide, I packed my life into my truck with Mason Boy by my side. I kept driving, but I had to make ends meet. I started thriving by scrapping industry, dumpster diving, street scrapping throughout America. From Michigan to Ohio, down to Florida. Merchant metals, recycle, don't destroy. Merchant metals and my dog Mason Boy. Merchant metals, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up and say hi. Bought myself a trailer, so when I'm on the road, I have a rolling workshop and can scrap a heavy load. When it feels like life is hard, I know just what to do. I hit the road and recycle scrap and make my dreams come true. I kept driving, but I had to make ends meet. I started thriving by scrapping in the street, dumpster diving, street scrapping throughout America. From Michigan to Ohio, down to Florida. Merchant metals, recycle, don't destroy. Merchant metals and my dog Mason Boy. Merchant metals, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up and say hi. Merchant metals, recycle, don't destroy. Merchant metals and my dog Mason Boy. Merchant metals, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up and say hi.